It's time to ride. Warmed up and ready to roll this week is Suzuki's all-new open-class race replica, the GSX R1000. Now, first off, this is the bike that has lost only one race in 2 years in the AMA Superbike Series and finished 1-2 in that same championship 3 years in a row. So you have to ask yourself, how does Suzuki try to improve on that? Well, besides a few typical engine hot rod tricks, Suzuki has also created a whole new frame and swing arm for the big bore Gixxer, with fewer cast aluminum components. But I guess the big news has to be the addition of what Suzuki calls SDMS, Suzuki Drive Mode Selector. In a nutshell, the GSX R1000 rider, now with the push of a thumb switch, can choose between 3 different power curves, each one designed for different riding conditions, be it track or street, wet or dry. Sizing up the mighty GSX R1000 for us today is Discovery Channel reporter and GSX R750 owner Shannon Bentley. Here's her report.
So Shannon, your regular set of wheels, your daily set of wheels are actually a GSX R750.
A 750, pretty close.
Yeah, and I thought, why not stick you on something just a little bigger just to see, what the comparo would be. So what was your first impression when you walked up to the Blue Meanie this morning?
Well, first impression when I sat on the bike and drove away was I had to turn around and check the numbers on the back of this thing.
Right.
It is so close to being a 750 as far as center of gravity, weight, handling, agility. I was blown away. Like, I've ridden 900s that are way heavier and harder to handle than this thing. It was a blessing.
Right.
Now it is a lot tighter wound than my 750, so it's a lot more responsive. However, the power band is about 1,000 RPM higher.
Right.
So you do notice that. It's a big difference from my bike.
So were you finding the power band is up higher? Like you had to rev it up higher to stay in the power range?
Yes, it does. This bike does not like to go slow, put it that way. It doesn't like to be under revved. And I did find it a little challenging in that regards to, slow maneuvering through the city. The throttle wasn't quite it was a little jumpy. It wasn't as smooth as my 750 because it doesn't like to be in a low RPM and going slow.
Right. What about the, you've got the adjustable brake and clutch levers. That,
I have to say, from a female perspective, is fabulous. My bike only has an adjustment on the brake lever.
Right.
This bike has 2 adjustments. It's got the clutch lever plus the brake lever as well, which is great. And I find it is actually more beneficial on the clutch lever because that's the thing that's hardest to pull for a small hand.
Right.
So you want to be able to have that maneuverability there.
So you could dial it right into the friction point and go from there.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, obviously it's got a lot of go power. What about the brakes, the stopping power?
More than enough. The brakes are fantastic, but they're not oversensitive. Like I found them to be a perfect match for the amount of power and speed you can get out of this bike.
So what did you think of the actual cockpit itself? I mean, you've got a programmable shift light. We know you've got the modes where you can take different programs for the engine itself. But what about the layout of the cockpit and the visibility of everything? It's
nice. It's not too cluttered, which I find a lot of bikes are. It's right out in front of you. You've got your digital display, plus you've got your TAC there, which is nice and easy to read. And I like how it's the biggest, the most prominent thing on the display. That's to me, that's the most important thing.
Who is this bike designed for?
This bike is designed to go fast. So anyone that wants to go fast, anyone that is really into the sport end of motorcycling. It's not for cruising. It's not, and that's not to say that it's not comfortable.
Right.
I found for a sport bike, it's comfortable. It's as comfortable as they come.
Right.
But you're not in that upright, relaxed position. You're in an aggressive stance, and that's again designed for you to go fast. So anyone that wants to burn some rubber, this is a great machine to do it on.
And a track day?
Perfect for a track day. I'd be very interested to take this out to a track day,
sure
actually. Maybe we can arrange a segment on that. Just because it's so agile for 1,000, for such a big beast. It's such a small feeling machine. I'd love to see how it performs on the track.
So if you had to sum up the one element of this motorcycle that's going to stick with you, when you go home tonight and you're talking to your partner, what's the one thing you're going to say, man, that bike was great for?
Man, this bike is great for my next motorcycle.
Uh-oh.
I just loved how it felt, handling-wise and size-wise, like a small bike, which is what I need being a female.
Right.
Yet I've got the power right there, and it doesn't let me down.
Nice job, Shannon.
Thank you. Had a lot of fun.
I'm afraid you can't take it home, though.
Oh, come on.
You're going to have to leave it here with me. Great job.
Thanks.